How good is the Tech Rules AT96? This car is rare and has had a Grand Prix and unleashed events. It's a key car and was one of the best to grace the A-Class roster, with a top speed of 364.6 km/h and acceleration of 85.53. Its top speed is that of most of the A-Class roster mid-tier, but its acceleration being its strongest point, which makes it great at recovering after corners and lap leading. However, the handling of 75.53 and a drift rating of 7 out of 10, the car handles pretty nicely at max, but it drags a bit, but it's quite responsive, as well as the drifting being useful but not as consistent. Sometimes it grips and then other times it drags. Nitro 69.65. It's manageable and it can do what you need to do to get done to maintain top speed or shockwaves. It's good for Classic and Gauntlet and even Ghost MP. But comparing it to the Concept 1, the Rimac C1 is more worthy to go for than this, with an overall performance of 7.7 out of 10 for A-Class. But you really gotta ask yourself, how good is the Jaguar XJR-9? First of all, this car is worth the tokens and it's worth the grind. Now it has a GP, so do your best to get it right now. Top speed of 412.3 km/h with an acceleration of 69.24, this car holds its position as the fastest car in all of A-Class, even hitting 432 km/h with nitro. You will start behind or dead last, but once you get it going, you'll leave everyone in the dust. Handling of 59.33 with a drift rating of 8.5 out of 10, its handling with nitro and turning in general is very smooth and responsive. Although, it is capable of doing punch drifts and floaty drifts very effectively as well. With a nitro of 84.95, I can't even say if it's its strongest stat because this car overall is a very good performer. It's great for slipstream and ghost but not for gauntlet, and the overall performance of 8.9 out of 10 for A-Class. How good is the Porsche 935 2019? This car is coming in a special hunt and it's a rare car with high potential, so hunt it like you've never hunted before and get the car key. Top speed 352 km/h and acceleration of 84.89. This car has really good acceleration and its recovering after cornering is basically its priority. Its top speed, however, being low for its rank, its consistency makes up for that where it lacks. Handling 87.96 with a drift rating of 8.5 out of 10. This car handles really well, taking on any corner with ease, but its drifting truly carries the car further, asserting its dominance as its competitor in A-Class. Its drift is also floaty as well. Nitro 72.61. The 918 has better nitro than this car, but the 935 has enough nitro to maintain your top speed and pass where necessary on the track. This car is good for Gauntlet and Classic multiplayer and even Ghost, with an overall performance of 7.9 out of 10 for A-Class. It's a very fun car to drive. How good is the GT by Citroen? This car is a mysterious one, but was given in multiplayer packs rewards last split. Top speed of 388.7 km/h and acceleration of 76.53. The Citroen isn't an acceleration heavy car, so you will start behind, but its top speed is where it shines, as it's very fast for its rank and where it sits in A-Class. I'd say it's a fun car once you learn how to handle its low acceleration, because handling of 64.61 and a drift rating of 5.7 out of 10. This car isn't grippy and it tends to go wide when it's drifting. If you really need to turn that corner, I'd suggest braking your speed way before the turn, but it handles quite okay. With a nitro of 67.20, it's manageable and it can keep you in a race until you'll be scraping after a corner just because you can't get back to top speed. It's good for slipstream and goes not classic really, and definitely not for gauntlet, with overall performance of 5.8 out of 10 for A-Class. How good is the Aston Martin Victor? This car debuted as a Legend Pass car and has had a car hunt as a rerun. Top speed of 371.4 km/h and acceleration of 78.33. Honestly, its worst stat has to be its acceleration, and its top speed is quite good for its rank and position in A-Class. Your corner recovery won't be that good, so be mindful of how you take your turns. Handling of 76.84 with a drift rating of 5.7 out of 10. Its handling is decent and its drifting is quite mid. It's also not floaty, and quite honestly, it can't compare to the better options in the class that are around its rank. Nitro of 69.63. It's manageable and quite decent, but with its poor acceleration, you'd be managing more than you'd be enjoying actually driving the goddamn car. With an overall performance of 5.9 out of 10 for A-Class, and this car is not good for Classic and definitely not for Gauntlet. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. How good is the Rimac Concept 1? This car is exclusive and appears in events from time to time. Top speed of 368.5 kilometers per hour. This car is slightly slower than the A-Class Kings, but it is faster than most of the contenders. Acceleration of 86.34. This car is most times first in races, and to no surprise, because it's one of its strongest points and the drift recovery is solid. With a handling of 84.03, this car will take corners with nitro almost seamlessly good. And the drifting, just buttery with a grip on each turn. Nitro of 54.53. It is the weakest point and will require you to nitro manage. So this is a skill that most players lack, and I see a lot of people get KD'd with this car just because of that. It is best in Classic and even Gauntlet, with an overall performance of 8.9 out of 10 for A-Class. How good is the Chevrolet Corvette CR1? Also, link to the video of how much it costs to go for the Esco Absolute below. Top speed of 355.4 kilometers per hour. It is slightly slower than the DBS Superleggera but faster than the Senna GTR. Because its acceleration of 82.03. It can be better, but I will say it's decent. It's not too good and it's not too bad. Its handling of 60.09. It handles well for quick drifts, and nitro turning is a little bit stiff, so be careful while drifting as it gradually loses a lot of speed, but it's decent. Nitro of 76.33. This is honestly its best statistic, and it can send you back to top speed with a shockwave, and its duration is long enough to perform on the track. It's alright for Classic, not so much Gauntlet, and it's good for Slipstream. But I would say its overall performance is 7.2 out of 10 for A-Class. How good is the Mercedes-Benz Vision 111? It was recently featured in a burst of speed alongside the Countach and Mistral. This car is underrated and not so much appreciated in this community. Top speed of 381 km per hour and acceleration of 83.93. This car is faster than majority of the A-Class cars and its kings except for the XJR-9, which is much faster. And its acceleration is great, and it will start you better than all the A-Kings other than the 499 Modificata. Handling of 76.35 and a drift rating of 8.5 out of 10. This car possesses floaty capabilities and can hold well around corners in nitro. Its drift also doesn't lose a lot of speed and it keeps up. And with a nitro of 57.95, with all this greatness, of course you need to nitro manage. But it's doable, with an overall performance of 8.9 out of 10. I do recommend anyone to go for this car. How good is the Team Forzilla P1? This car currently has its own special event rerun and was given in multiplayer packs. Top speed of 382 kilometers per hour with an acceleration of 87.82. This car has really nice acceleration and good top speed for its class. It definitely helps in being useful for Gauntlet and racing against the kings of the class. Handling of 53.75 with a drift rating of 6 out of 10. This car reminds me of the Lotus ER9 because it's so similar in how it drives and handles. That's just what it feels like. This car isn't floaty really, and it drags to a certain degree with a low drift speed. Nitro of 60.72 stack. It's good, and I won't complain because it's usable and it's decent enough to get you back to top speed with shockwaves. But this car is good for Classic and Gauntlet and other MP modes with an overall performance of 7.2 out of 10 for A-Class. I would recommend. How good is the Pagani Cinque? Is this car even worth going for in this Drive Syndicate 12? With a top speed of 369 kilometers per hour, this car is faster than its competitors around the rank and the mid A-Class. Acceleration of 79.84. It is not that great as the startup feels very sluggish to build, and the recovery around corners wouldn't be as fast even with shockwave. Handling of 74.46. Okay, the car will turn, but it feels stiff and it has a decent speed loss when drifting. Nitro handling also feels stiff as you require more technique to pull off the simple cornering techniques. Nitro of 73.22. It's good for what it has to offer and it can hold for a good period of time. What I would say, this car I won't recommend really for classic nor gauntlet, but it can do good for slipstream due to its top speed, with our overall performance of 6.5 out of 10 for A-Class. But should you go for it? Of course not! There are much better options like the 570S and the Pagani Huayra that would dominate better than the Cinque. How good is the Lamborghini Countach LPI 800-4? This car is exclusive but was featured in a burst of speed recently. With a top speed of 373 km/h, it sits well with the A-Class Kings but is slightly lower in comparison with speed. Acceleration of 81.23, it's good and it does get in there so you will not fall behind, but shockwaves help it greatly. Handling of 85.96, this car is very grounded and handles extremely well around turns, and the drift is smooth and the suspension is stuck to the floor. With a Nitro 72.4 stat, it holds and keeps it when you really need it, which helps it a lot. It's hard to debate, but it might be the best raging bull in the game. It's good for classic and maybe even slipstream, but not so much for gauntlet, with the overall performance of 9 out of 10 for A-Class. How good is the Peugeot 9x8? This car falls in the consistent car category, but it isn't as common as the Vanda. This car has a lot of strong points and it sits in mid A-Class with a top speed of 344.3 km/h. This car is as fast as a Huracan and most B-Class cars of this rank. But note that it does not possess perfect nitro boost like the Vanda. Acceleration at 90.03. You will be first and definitely not last, cause it is faster than the Aspire Owl. And its recovery after corners is beyond consistent because a handling of 94.15. This car rivals even the best and is on par with the 911 GT3. It is smooth, fast, and the drift loses little to no speed on cornering. And the Nitro 69.94, don't let the low stat fool you, because it's more capable of doing exactly what needs to be done. And you can get this car from the Gauntlet store, and this car is best in Gauntlet and Classic multiplayer with an overall performance of 8.9 out of 10 for A-Class. How good is the Peugeot Onyx? This race will prove why this car is still viable in today's meta. Top speed of 370.6 km/h, this car is faster than the Aperta, Huayra, and the VLF. Acceleration of 81.93. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's slower. It's a strange anomaly, but that's how it works. Handling of 84.83. This car handles beautifully while cornering in nitro, and the drift is no less but tight and smooth. Nitro of 59.61. If you cannot nitro manage, this car is not for you, because you will be nitro scraping and managing the entire race. Attainability is the Starway event, and it is good for all walks of multiplayer, but not so much gauntlet. This car is very fun to drive. I personally enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out more on the channel for more underrated kings. How good is the Porsche 918 Spyder? This classic car is obtainable through the Legends store, and it's one of my favorite cars in this entire game. With a top speed of 362.4 km/h, this car rivals the Aventador J and sits well in A-Class. With an acceleration of 83.03, this car accelerates very nicely and sometimes it seems faster, but the shockwave definitely boosts it forward. With a handling of 51.8, yes, it's not that great, but this car floats slightly and you can perform quick turns and it still drifts decent. Although with the Nitro 79.79, it holds very nicely, so keep boosting, I always say, but this car drives best when you're managing nitro. So always make sure I have a shockwave after corners and ramps, and it's best in lower gauntlet, but it's also great in multiplayer, and I still use it in every single multiplayer reset, and it's fun to drive. It's an aggressive car to drive on the road. How good is the Ferrari F8 Tributo? You can get this car in the Legends store and in the current Spotlight event. Top speed of 360 kilometers per hour. It is as fast as the 007S but not faster than the Aperta and the A-Class Kings. Acceleration of 83.14. This car accelerates nicely and the shockwave carries it like a rocket. You won't have problems recovering after corners because with a handling of 94.22, this car has amazing handling when turning and a tight drift radius. You will not be disappointed when handling twisty tracks with this car. Nitro 69.79. The nitro duration lacks sometimes, but it's good enough to get the job done. I will say this is a fun car to drive and it can rival the A-Class Kings on certain tracks, with an overall performance of 8.3 out of 10 for A-Class. How good is the legendary McLaren P1? This car is beautiful and has a well-crafted figure. Isn't she lovely? Top speed of 364.6 kilometers per hour. This car is faster than the 499P Modificata and the 003S, but isn't faster than the A-Class Kings. Acceleration 83.64. It does exactly what it says, and it's fast to accelerate, so shockwave make this car slightly more aggressive as well. Handling of 47.54. I never said it handled well, but with skill and technique, once you learn to tame this beast, you will start winning. Nitro 62.89. Yeah, the nitro duration is a bit lacking, but it is good nonetheless. You can get it from the Legends store and daily events, and this is a good car for beginners and decent for multiplayer even in the chaos meta. Okay, so hear me out. I want to review the Vanda Dendrobium, but instead I'm here to open up a can of worms. This car is a cheat car. Top speed of 339.9 kilometers per hour, acceleration 86.24. This car is slow but possesses a perfect nitro boost. Due to that, it levels its speed with the Carrera and the Apollo IE. But here is the catch. This car is very consistent. Handling of 95.92 and nitro of 84.9. As again, this car is very consistent. So much so that you forget that the Grand Sport ever existed. It's a cheap car that you can get from showroom or the Legends store. But it's easy to drive, quite lightweight, so cornering is buttery smooth. It beats S-Class cars and every other car in most tracks with skill-less driving. And the overall performance is 10 out of 10 for an A-Class car.
How good is the VLF Force? And is it worth hunting in the weekly event? Top speed 368.8 kilometers per hour. It's faster than most A-Class cars, but not faster than the Kings. Definitely was a good OG car for slipstream. Acceleration 80.33. Now it does take some build-up, but once you get it going, it will be fine unless you hit a wall too hard and ride it, because this car does ride walls. Handling of 54.68. It's decent. I'd say it's decent. It's not the greatest, but it's not the worst at all. Nitro 74.63. The nitro is very good with this car.
The overall performance of this car, 6.8 out of 10 for A-Class. So is it worth the hunt though? Yes, but in the current meta, it requires skill to drive. Now I must say, some people are going to disagree, but this car is an underrated beast. Top speed of 235 miles per hour. This car sits comfortably in mid A-Class, and its top speed rivals majority of its class competitors. Acceleration of 79.83. And despite its acceleration being below 80, it's reliable. It will keep up and pass the usual spam cars with good driving. Handling 73.1 stat. It's good for quick turns and simple cornering, and well, it can hold well on long turns but falls off if you hold it too long. Nitro 77.86. This car, it's another car with great nitro. It's cars like this that keep you away from S-Class cars when you feel how great the nitro feels. And it's attainable in the Legends store. I bought every single blueprint with credits from 0 to 5 stars for this car. These 4 cars are the true kings of A-Class, guaranteed W's. Number 1, the Pagani Imola. Smooth. This car is really fun to drive. It's floaty, it has great nitro efficiency, and naturally it has nice handling and a great top speed. I think clocking out around 240 or 244 miles per hour. This car is a true beauty. Number 2, the Ferrari Aperta. It is smooth. This car is smooth handling. Sometimes it's a bit unbalanced in terms of its physics, but it gets the job done. Nice top speed, keeping up with the faster cars. The handling also keeps it in the race. It has good nitro and has good acceleration. It does the job, I'm telling you. Number 3, we have the Pagani Huayra BC. This car is the pinnacle of fun to drive. The Pagani Huayra BC is the nitro king. This car, just keep boosting. That's what I always say with this car. No need to stop. It's floaty, it drifts well if you don't hold it for too long, but it does its job. It has decent acceleration, it gets it in there, and you definitely will enjoy driving this car. It has the same top speed as the Aperta, and it's very versatile. It does well on majority of the tracks in the game. Number 4, we have the Aston Martin Valhalla concept car. This car does everything the Aperta does and doubles it. This car is definitely a copy of the Aperta, but just better. Great acceleration, buttery smooth handling. It also has a great ass top speed. It's probably around the same as the Imola, just 1 mile per hour less. But another thing is this nitro is not terrible, it's manageable. It will keep you in the race once you do it right, and you will win a lot of races with this car. Overall, these are the true kings of A-Class.
How good is the Pagani HP Barchetta? This car is cute and classic, but it's not a king. Top speed of 350.1 km per hour, acceleration 79.43, handling 73.54, and nitro 73.67. This car isn't bad, but it lacks what makes it stand out. And it can underperform, but it's a little fun to drive in multiplayer. Attainability, you can get it from its car hunt, and overall performance is 5 out of 10. Do not spend your tokens on this car. Like and subscribe for more rapid reviews.